The term big game is in itself a bit misleading. No one who's hunted him in any of his ranges would question the status of the white-tailed deer as a true North American big game animal. But the member of the deer family that truly earns the title is the moose, one of North America's most iconic big game animals and the largest antlered animal in the world. Sports Afield's James Reed is a serious and well-traveled hunter with a great deal of experience both internationally as well as here in North America. Like the moose, James is a lover of true wilderness, and many of his favorite memories in the field come from rugged country where the game and conditions tested him mentally as well as physically. Yet one trophy that James had yet to test himself against was a big bull moose. That all changed last September when James headed to Alberta, Canada with Buckstop Outfitting to hunt the Western Canada moose in the deep woods of the Canadian wilderness. The rut's in full swing and the bulls are moving, and before it's over, James will come face to face with one of his hunting goals. Today, join us for a hunt for the world's biggest deer as we open the pages of Trijicon's World of Sports Afield.
Trijicon's World of Sports Afield is presented by Trijicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, the Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Zeiss Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Cannon Safes, nothing protects like a cannon, the Wild Sheep Foundation,
and Leishamo, the best boots money can buy.
Well, today we're loading up here at my home in Idaho, and we're going to drive up to Alberta for a moose and mule deer hunt with Stan Eden from Buckstop Outfitting. Looks like a nice day for a drive.
Although James Reed lives in the very heart of Idaho's best big game country, with the fall comes the urge to travel to and hunt new destinations. James and field producer Ted Miller pointed the big 4x4 to the west for the long haul to Alberta, where his backcountry adventure would begin.
Well, we've made it to the Alberta border. It's been a good drive so far. Now, if they just let us in the country, we'll be in good shape. Well, we just reached the Klondike Ferry here in Alberta, and this is where we're going to meet up with Stan Eden, our outfitter from Buckstop Outfitting. Get us across the river on the ferry.
We're just here at the Klondike crossing, and we're about 10 minutes from our deer camp on the other side here. This is where the gold rush was originated, coming across the Athabasca River up to Alaska.
It's beautiful.
A motorized barge has tamed the river crossings that were once the ultimate challenge for hunters of the far north. Now James had finally arrived.
Well, we're gonna do a test shot at the range here. Make sure the gun's still on after the traveling. On this hunt, I've chosen a Winchester 338 Win Mag. We're shooting Hornady Super Performance ammo and a 225 grain bullet. So we'll see how it prints it. That'll do there, I think. We're here at Buckstop Outfitting's base camp with Stan Eden. Stan, what's going to be our plan of attack here?
Well, we're about 35 minutes from where we're going to be hunting, primarily moose and wolf and coyote. We're in a region and zone here that we do our deer hunting in November.
But 35 minutes north of here, we're well into the boreal forest and into the clear cuts, and that's where we're going to be hunting this week. And looks like the weather's going to hold for us. Might be a little spotty, but it's fairly warm right now, so the moose are rutting, and we hope to get out a good hunt here.
Sounds like a plan. We just got to get loaded up and headed for the moose camp.
A backcountry camp needs to be completely self-sufficient, and that makes bringing everything you'll need for the hunt's duration in with you. A good network of roads into the area allows much of the work to be done with four-wheelers, which is nice, as you don't have to catch and saddle them each morning. Our moose adventure continues when Trijicon's World of Sports Afield returns.
I'm Diana Rupp, Editor-in-Chief of Sports Afield magazine, with this week's installment of The Hunting Tradition. The moose is the largest deer in the world. There are 8 subspecies of moose, including 4 in North America, 3 in Eastern and Central Asia, and 1 in Europe. The largest of the North American subspecies is the Alaska Yukon moose, found in the far north. The antlers on these animals can reach a spread of 75 inches across. The Western Canada moose is found in British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, the Northwest Territories, and Western Ontario. There are also a few in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and North Dakota. These are the second largest moose, with antlers of a large specimen reaching in the mid-50s to 60 inches across. The Eastern Canada moose is the moose found in eastern Canada and the northeastern United States. These moose have significantly smaller antlers than the others, with a spread of 50 inches being exceptional. These moose tend to inhabit areas of heavy timber. Typically the smallest in antler size of the 4 types of moose is the Shiras moose of southeastern British Columbia and Alberta, as well as Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and parts of Utah and Colorado. They are also known as the Wyoming moose or Yellowstone moose. No matter what type of moose you hunt, moose hunts are challenging and rewarding because these animals inhabit backcountry areas and are never easy to find. Moose meat is among the most delicious of all wild venison, and of course, a set of moose antlers is probably one of the world's most impressive hunting trophies. You can learn more about the hunting tradition in every issue of Sports Afield magazine and at sportsafield.com.
The hunt for bull moose begins at first light. With the rut in full swing, the bulls are on the move looking for receptive cows. Highly mobile creatures, bull moose can cover amazing amounts of country in their search for mates. And to be a successful hunter, you need to be equally willing to cover ground looking for fresh sign indicating that a bull is patrolling an area. Binoculars will be used to scan likely feeding and travel routes, but sighting a bull is difficult in this heavily forested country.
Well, it's later in the morning. It's cleared off, bright blue skies, and we're gonna try doing some still hunting through some real nice clear cuts here and see if we can't bump into something moving between these clear cuts trying to find some cows. Well, we've obviously run across a lot of tracks here, but with the rain we had last night, you can tell we've got some fresh tracks here of a cow and a calf, so hopefully if we keep working into the wind, maybe we can find a bull that's following them.
Moose hunting is a physically demanding sport. The hunter, especially where walking is required to get you into game country, must be prepared to lay down tracks in a wide variety of habitat, much of it dense thickets, divided by marshy lakes and bogs. James and his guide, Tim Janke, knew that with each mile covered, the odds that a trophy bull would be spotted increased.
Give you an idea, folks, what we're walking on here. This is a muskeg swamp. If you look down here, it's just walking on a sponge with every step. Kind of gives you a workout before the day's done. Lots of moose, though.
Backcountry moose seldom come easy, but the fit sportsman stacks the odds in his favor. James Reed meets another moose hunter when Trijicon's World of Sports Afield continues. Alberta has a growing population of timber wolves, and sport hunters play a key role in managing their numbers. Wolf sign was abundant in the area, and Stan had told James that the chance of taking a trophy wolf was a possibility. Early one morning, Stan topped a rise and motioned James to come see what he had spotted. A sleeping pack was about to present James with a chance of a lifetime.
Crossing down in here, there's a pack of wolves right on the knoll. I can see 3 at least that are sitting up in that sand. Right as we crest that hill there. We don't have a rangefinder with us, but maybe they're a ways out there. Maybe we can get down on them from the point here and get a crack at them. Okay.
Well, we went back up to the truck after all the shooting subsided and got the rangefinder. It was 410 yards to where they were bedded the first shot. So we underestimated it about 100 yards. But the last shot where I killed the black one was 320 yards. Now we gotta go down and recover this one that we got down here.
A great piece of luck and a difficult shot had given James one of North America's most difficult to obtain trophies. But now it was back to the moose hunt.
Well, we got up this morning and it was just clear and calm. We've come over to this big valley where the big swamp is. We saw cow and a calf on the way in. We came into where we were calling last night, and the moose had come in. There's fresh tracks right where we were calling from. Stan's down here taking the brush right now, trying to rattle in a bull. Well, this is the moose wallow we've been sitting over. The bulls will scrape this out and urinate in it. Then the cows will come and lay in it, and then he can track them from the scent. This has been freshly done. It's real strong smell, and there's another one just up the hill. We're gonna move down the ridge here a little ways where we can see down and overlook this scrape, and hopefully he'll come back and work it tonight. Well, we've set up here for our evening hunt. That bull wallow is right up here where the bulls made the wallow. He's been using the trail, it looks like, right here about 50 yards from us coming in and out of the timber. There's lots of scrapes, trees rubbed. So we're going to set up here for the evening and hope he makes an appearance.
The dense forest in this area makes it necessary for the moose to break cover if the hunter is to have any chance at all. Rutting bulls often travel open power line cuts, making these areas excellent places to ambush a traveling bull. As the shadows lengthened, James pulled out a homemade moose call in hopes of pulling in an unseen bull out of the timber. Moose cows are very vocal during the breeding season, and the bulls are alert for the sounds of any cow advertising her search for a mate. The plaintive moans coming from James's call had indeed been heard by the bull, and turning uphill for the 100th time, James was astonished to see a beautiful bull coming his way. James sets his sights on a long-term goal when Trijicon's World of Sports Afield returns. And now, Inside the Hunt, brought to you by Hornady.
Today on Inside the Hunt, let's talk about day packs. I tell you what, that is one piece of gear that I am extremely finicky about. I always carry a day pack, and I want a day pack that's going to be really good and sturdy. I like a day pack that has lots of pockets so I can properly organize my gear, but most of all, it's got to be comfortable. And you absolutely want to make sure that it has a waist belt, because when you're carrying a heavy load in uneven terrain, this can really save you. Having a waist belt is extremely important on a day pack. This one's from our friends at Boyd, and it really is one of the finest day packs I've ever used. And of course, you want to pack it with care. You don't want to burden yourself with stuff you don't need, but the other great use for a day pack for me is this serves as my carry-on for long flights. I always use a day pack as a carry-on, and then I've got everything I need. And on that flight, when you're going on a long-distance hunt, you want to put everything in that day pack that you can't possibly do without. Extra pair of eyeglasses, medications, camera, jacket, extra pair of socks. Tell you what, you can fit a lot of gear in a day pack this size. And you know what? A well-made day pack like this will last for years.
Oh, he liked that. He's running in now.
That the bull was interested, there was no doubt. The bull came downhill on a mission, but decided to stop just out of range to rake at a small bush in an attempt to impress the cow, or perhaps to discourage unseen rivals who might also be moving in on the lovesick cow. Moose have excellent senses, although their wit is substantially dulled during the peak of the rut. Unexpectedly, the bull decided to re-enter the dark timber, but James continued calling, trying to pull the animal back into the open where a shot would be possible. After a few tense minutes, and as if on cue, the great bull stepped out to claim his rights for the still unseen cow.
You just cut our wind. I'm going to go ahead and take you. Was that awesome or what? Holy cow. We called that bull in from clear over the ridge, just right at last light. He was grunting and tearing up trees and blowing, snoring. That was awesome. Let's go take a peek at him. Holy cow. What a beast. Boy, he's really rutting. You can really smell it. This is what we were looking for.
I'm here with Stan Eden and Tim Janke of Buckstop Outfitting. We're in the Swan Hills of central Alberta. We just took a real nice moose, called him in clear over the hill. And is this a pretty respectable one, guys? Or?
Absolutely. Great moose. Yeah. Central Alberta, it's 45 inches. We hope for 50, but this is good bull.
Well, thank you guys very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Good having you.
Now we got to get to work.
The bull was one any hunter would be proud of. That the moose was hunted on foot under complete fair chase conditions made the adventure all the more special to James Reed. Eventually, the man-sized task of packing the bull to camp was completed, and the Buckstop team began the process of breaking the camp down. By the end of the day, the campsite would show little sign of human intrusion, and camp sounds would be replaced by the howl of the wolf and the deep grunting of a bull moose looking to pass his genes on to the next generation of his clan. Trijicon's World of Sports Afield has been brought to you by Trijicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, The Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Zeiss Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Cannon Safes, nothing protects like a cannon, the Wild Sheep Foundation,
And Leisha Mode, the best boots money can buy.
Closed captioning provided by Getting Involved, a guide to hunting and conservation for kids.